This is a pigs eating enough video. So I got this product. So I'm going to do is give it a go. It's basically regrows your hair. It claims, but it also highlights hereditary hair loss. So in certain areas of my head that could benefit. And here it come down more than I would prefer. However, it's a part of hormones. So there's a hormone in the body that basically reduces your hair, so you lose hair. Otherwise, you'd grow hair all over the place, or your eyebrows would be really long. It controls the length, basically regulates it. And there's another hormone that helps to grow hair. That's why some people can grow hair at certain lengths and other people can't. A bit like I'm wondering how long I could grow this beard here, this goatee beard, before it would stop, because there may be a natural balance. So it's something I'm experimenting with. So yeah, I'm going to give this a go. So I've got a 1 month supply. I'm probably need to get some more and then try it out. Depends if the stuff stinks. Someone said it stinked. So I was watching a lot of videos online. So weirdly enough, they do work at some level. But the only thing is, once you stop using them, then you probably hair will start to bald and turn back to normal. So I'll give it a go. It might not work at all. You know, everyone's success is personal. It's a personal journey. So you know, see what happens. And some other projects I'm thinking about. So I'm going to be working on my flat. So I've shown these plants before, but I'm thinking about having possibly across the ceiling. I'll use this as a pointer. See if you'll see that. Possibly the ceiling might have something hanging and going across, because I've started doing that with that over there and in the corner. I'm trying to. It's hard. I have to go like that. That's it. It's fine. So yeah, sort of over there. I've got that. But I'm thinking about running a chain. Have a chain. It looked like some sort of medieval torture chamber in it. But you can have it, and then basically have binds and different things running across. Possibly space. I mean, I thought about how far do I take it. You know, I could have like hanging baskets, all sorts of things in it, but it might be a bit nuts. I was thinking about something draped at the top. But it'd be a very oxygen-rich environment. It'd be a very kind of anti-toxic sort of environment. Possibly I can grow things that might be some use for me. Like, I was thinking about getting some dragon fruit. There are some things that kind of grow down anyway, sort of hanging things that come down. And then you need to probably list things that are low light over things that are more higher light, because I've got things in the window that don't like direct sunlight so much, and other things that don't mind it or do. Like the aloe vera is pretty easy going, but it doesn't like low light. I put it in a low light environment. I put it near the TV and the other one died. Other things like this one over here, the brumosia, you know, it's really green. It's got a lot of qualities to it. However, things like this was near my the coffee plant was near my bedroom window, and it seemed to be not as green as I want it, leaves. So I may shift that over towards the light more, and then see what happens, and then see if that works on it. So there's a few plant projects I'm looking at for my living space, and I'm thinking about these greener projects, because we live in an environment basically whereby we're going to need to get greener. You know, they're always talking about climate change and all stuff like that. Well, I'm thinking about climate advantage. So this warmer environment, what plants grow will thrive better in that environment. And that's the thing we need to be working towards, because some changes we can't change. They go on about carbon and being greener and cleaner and all these other things, but they're not really going to have any impact on the global change. It's just going to be progression. And the only way you can make big differences is if you plant more plants. However, the issue around capitalism is that people want their own mortgages, their own gardens, and what people do is they get properties, they take away green space, they end up concrete in their front garden so they can have 3 or 4 cars on it, and they do literally nothing with their back garden. They just have some grass that they keep mowing. It's not really going to have any wonderful impact for the environment. They're not going to have things like trees and other things that potentially are going to need to grow. But I'm wondering how I can use space within flats. You can grow. I mean, to be honest, you can bonsai anything. So you could grow a tree in it, but you'd have to bonsai it to a certain height, and then basically you restrict the roots and restrict the height. You just top it. But if you top it, it widens. I mean, what I've got here. So this is an example. So this Aztec tobacco plant, I chopped off the top because I wanted to get all these, basically the seed pods and stuff like that. And what's happened is that more growth has increased at a lower level, so it'll bush outwards. And that's what you'll have with trees and things like that. I mean, I did think about a project where you got abandoned buildings, large abandoned buildings that haven't been used for ages, and then possibly growing things on each level. I mean, you could start off trees in there, and then move them out into the main environment, move them out into the city, plant them in places, so you get a new development, and then you've got to look at what level of the green impact. There's some buildings, they've got the roofs and everything, they're just not doing nothing up there as well. They could build on that as well. So, my thinking, rather look at negatives, it's building green space into our environment. So, there were some other ideas I had as well. It's a bit more further out, but kind of like a megatopia idea. And I was thinking about if they can use pneumatic lifts using an airflow system in a larger building, and even possibly maybe like a tube system as well. An example is in the past they used to use these tubes to send. Some of the old stores used to have it, and they'd put at the till they'd put the money into this tube, and they'd put it inside the tube, and then it would use pneumatic to blow it through the system. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there now, like companies like Dyson. So I might email Dyson about this idea, that are using sort of vortex technology and air technology, airflow technology, but that could be incorporated into a building design. And for a lift system, you use an airlock, so it's more safer than using cables. If all the cables fail, then the brakes lock. But with an airlock system, the air would be a cushion, and it's a release valve at the top of it. You can get these devices that you tilt and they make noises. They make a noise like. So they're basically a slow release of air, but they're putting it through a system whereby it generates sound. So you kind of have a valve that reduces. So as a weight drops, so if you've got this lift shaft, so that you lock below the valves, you increase the air pressure, raise it up and reduce it, and then when you come down, you start releasing the valves, and it brings it down. And it's just using a cushion of air. And you could also redirect the airflow into the air conditioning system. So there's a lot we could do more advanced. I mean, what we should be doing is mimicking nature. And you've got things like how you've got like termite. You've got these termite, what do they call them? Come back to me. Termite mounds, and they're quite tall. And for the size of them, the size of the creature, they've made a humongous structure. I think we could do that, and you can have literally a whole community and everything in one big giant block, and then have a lot more larger green space around it. And then we could try to utilise space that is probably considered less habitable. Like if you take Australia, for instance, they've got a large desert area. What are they doing for the green projects to utilise that space? And you could always pump water or something into an area, or use that as a commodity. So there's lots of opportunity there. Anyway, this is Pixie signing off, and I will speak to you soon.